Good morning, everyone. Welcome to a new week and welcome to All Hands on Deck, the podcast for We the People. Today, I want to talk with you guys and with my wonderful colleague here and friend, Helen. It's not a topic that people are necessarily talking about as much as they should be. And that's what things are going to look like as people wake up and become aware of what's been going on, what might have been done to them or inflicted upon them in terms of the medical coercion, as well as a number of different things that are going on in the world right now that make things feel very heavy, very dark, very, scary for a lot of people. And I don't think we've even scratched the surface yet in terms of people having issues surrounding their mental well-being. Massive numbers incoming. I've spoken with a number of practitioners within the field and all are saying the same. It's going to be brutal. It's going to be very, very difficult. And what we're trying to do within the People's Alliance across the board is make sure we put safety nets in place to help see people through what's incoming. Now I'm joined today by the wonderful Helen Gibson, who's our mental wellbeing ambassador.
Hello.
And I'm going to ask Helen about some of the things that she's started, some of the initiatives that she's got going on, and particularly we're going to focus in on the FAB training, which we'll explain more about. But it really is essential that we get as many people as possible trained in this across every community across the UK to mitigate the impact that these mental wellbeing issues are likely to have on communities and society as a whole. So good morning, lovely Helen. How are you?
Hello, darling. Hello. Yeah. Hello, everyone. I'm Helen. I'm good. I'm still kind of I'm celebrating my birthday, so but yeah, all good.
Fantastic. Now, I'd love it if you could just briefly explain to everyone kind of what you're doing in terms of your partnership with PHA, the Zoom drop-ins, which you've been doing for a while and are essential, and yet people don't yet know they're going to need it. So can you just explain what that's about?
Right, yeah. So Anna and Cara offer daily drop-in Monday to Friday. There's actually a few drop-ins on different days. And New Zealand also, we've got New Zealand time zone on. So I'll give you the history. So when this, I'm not sure of what language I can use here, but anyway, when this, so I'll just use it until I'm told not to. But when this shit show began in 2020, it became very obvious very soon that people had been exposed to trauma. So initially I wrote a Being Well in Uncertain Times half-day workshop to sort of start to get people to begin the process of to begin to process the trauma. Get inside, there's a deadly disease out there, is traumatic, and then being told that your children, your neighbours, your this, your that, your everything can kill you is traumatic. So every single one of us underwent that trauma, whether we believed it to be true or not. It was traumatic to watch our friends, our family and everybody else, the whole world masked up, everybody not touching each other. So these are things that are quite against our actual nature. We are pack animals. We need to be close to each other. We need to be touching each other. We need to be in contact with each other. We need to know that it was just the flu rebranded event, essentially. Gosh, I sound ever so deep today, don't I? So that's the voice. So then in October 2020, I'd already been doing some speaker truth conversations from prior to this nonsense beginning, because it was evident that people were being shut down on so many levels. We've had this systematic, the agendas at play have been very, very good at shutting us down. The men's mental health roundtable kind of really touched on some beautiful points in relation to the attack on the male. So, as I say, I was doing these speaker truth conversations because I realised people needed to express themselves. We need to hear each other's truths in order to connect, to find ways forward, to be able to collaborate, to compromise, to whatever it is, to be able to respect differences even, like we can agree to disagree. Right now, that is so rife, but that's sort of coming up. But so then in October, I'm going all over the place, October 2020, I started doing open drop-ins for people to literally just drop in if they were struggling. They were inspired by the mental health drop-in centre. I'm in Birmingham at the moment, so here in Birmingham there is a mental health drop-in centre, a youth mental health drop-in centre, and I will promote that. It's in Digbeth. It's called Pause, and any young person under 25 can literally just walk in. I have no idea at the moment about their agendas or what sort of narratives they're pushing or whatever, but it is a phenomenal service that any young person doesn't need a doctor's referral, doesn't need your teachers, your parents, your anything. You can just drop in and talk to somebody or sit with somebody and get some support, and parents can as well, which is great. So it was inspired by that idea of just being able to drop in. So they began in 2020 with one a week. Then, as you're aware, myself and a couple of reprobates got together, and the Awareness Foundation was created, and so they transferred over to the Awareness Foundation, which fortunately brought in more practitioners and therapists. And I do have issues with words, as you know, so anyway, I'm still using those words. So we got more practitioners and things like that, so we got built more there was more offerings of the open drop-in, Anamkara open drop-ins, and then you know, for myself, it was that things were going in different directions, and I just felt that I needed to focus on a certain area. So the Anamkara was created, which was around the same time as the People's Health Alliance was coming up. I think we began in the January or February, which we didn't mark this year. So, and we have now we've got daily drop-ins, and as I say, there's drop-in times that are for the New Zealand. So we're trying to make this a global 24-hour offering. But the issue, and I'm sure you can resonate with this, is people, the actual people to man the drop-ins. We like 2 practitioners on a call, so that we call ourselves benefactors, because as I just said, I've got a thing about words, and this was the word that most aptly describes everyone, because there are neuroscientists in there, there's coaches, there's therapists, there's counsellors, there's light workers, there's support workers, there's skilled helpers, there's I believe we've got doctors, you know, there's a doctor in there as well, psychiatry. So there are from a diverse range of modalities that are all focused on supporting people. My biggest thing that I think people need to support people is an ear, a heart, and the willingness, the time. I think that they are just phenomenal, and that kind of leads into FAB, in all fairness. So Anamkara offers, as I say, Monday to Friday drop-ins with 3 on a Tuesday, and I can't remember actually, because New Zealand have different time zones. So, you know, there's 1 on a Wednesday, 2 on a Wednesday, because there's one very early in the morning, which is the Tuesday night one, I think, from, or maybe I've got my things wrong. Anyway, all times are local. If you look at the posters,
on the People's Health Alliance website as well. So go and have a look on the website. Go and have a look at Anamkara. Yeah, get the timetables, share it out there. We'll share it out on our platform again. We do it regularly, and get it out there for anybody who is struggling in any way.
And that's the thing about it. They're open rooms. We're not looking at just people that are aware of what's going on or just becoming aware of what's going on. In the beginning, we literally had people drop in and just say, "Would you just, what do you think's going on right now?" And I think for me, as you know, I'm quite able, so I've got no problem saying, as far as I'm concerned, this is a tyrannical transition of power with a genocidal agenda, because that's what I keep being shown at a root. That's a kind of my thing. And people just, it's the relief. I'm not going mad. No, there are other mad people around, don't worry. Because in terms of mental health and the diagnostic manuals and everything, everyone that's not believing the current mainstream narrative has a mental health issue. So own that, enjoy that, love that, revel in it, be your unique self. And this does absolutely lead into FAB, which is First Assist BeingWell. And there are 2 main aims of FAB. One is to normalize our lives again. Our lives have been medicalized and weaponized and used against us. So, you know, a pill for every ill. There are things within our life. Grief is now in the the DSM, which is the Diagnostic Statistical Manual. Grief is an absolute part of life. Life, grief, death, these things, joy, they're all part of our lives. And what's happening is that everything's being medicalized. You've got a mental health issue. No, you're just feeling a bit sad. So I'm not by any means, I know that some people think I think that mental health issues don't exist. They do, but not in the depth and severity that they would have you believe. Reclaim your life, and honor the reality of feeling sad, honor the reality of, so the First Assist training, I'm going to go back. It's got two main aims. One is to normalize our life, to empower you to reclaim your life, and to see it as part of the ups and downs of life. My whole profession rests on people not actually acknowledging that, which I think is quite bad, and I identified that a few years ago. And the other aim is to empower you with knowledge and skills and tools to be able to sit with someone who might not be feeling great, who might be experiencing the beginning of a psychotic episode and suicidal ideation. And people get very frightened at just the terminology of it all, when there's absolutely no need to sit. Your heart, your ears, and your time are so immensely powerful and necessary that you can support people. You are able, and this isn't about diagnosing and prescribing. It's not about trying to identify whether somebody's got schizophrenia or whether they're bipolar. You're not there for that. This is called First Assist. It's very much like first aid, and I don't wish to use that terminology because mental health first aid is a protected title. But so this is about being there first, being able to sit, having the tools and techniques and the knowledge to be able to signpost effectively, to be confident in yourself. And one of the things that happens within the mainstream at the moment, and I've heard people talk about this, is we're not looking at the root causes of what's going on. So even being able to support somebody to sit down and go, well, are you sleeping well? Do you need assistance with your sleep, your diet, your exercise? And remembering that if you've lost your job, you've lost a loved one, if you've any sort of loss, that's normal. Life is about, trees lose their leaves every year. And I'm not negating the pain that you feel in loss, but to re-normalize the cycles of life and death and ill, and we're not sick, we're constantly healing, to just kind of re-empower ourselves. And Fab does that. It looks at culture, our current culture, what's going on in the world, how these have impacted on us, how we have to acknowledge that we have been under attack as a species, our very nature and nurture. The male has been attacked for years, this drip, because they couldn't full force attack a male because men are not wired like that. So they've attacked masculinity. So men are like, well, what do we do? And I think everybody that was aware in 2020, the scream of the woman was, where is man? Where is man? Where are you? I'm getting emotional just thinking about it, because it was as if, so you were attacked first. I mean, we've all been attacked, but yours was a very insidious way of attack. Now women are undergoing a full frontal attack. Here, I live in Era, and they're literally looking to take the word woman out of maternity services, out of the Constitution, saying it's archaic for women to stay at home. And I think the women, we've had all of these wonderful initiatives and endeavours that have been about creating equality and equity amongst us as a species, so that we're not discriminated against because of our colour, our gender, who we wish to live with, who, whatever it is. When, there's been massive strides in all of that, but every single one of them have been perverted to further enslave. And even that kind of insidious way that we've had this psychological attack, as Anna de Bussier tells it, she says, undergone military grade psychological warfare.
Yeah.
That is not to be underestimated. And every single one of us, aware or not, it has filtered in on some level. So we've had these attacks on us that have constantly been going, and the very nature of our species, the family unit, you know, it takes a male and a female to create a new life. And within our species, it takes the male and female to build that life. We spend more time than any other species, well, predominantly more, I'm not sure of every single species on the planet, but we spend more time investing in our young to bring them up. They don't fall out and stand up straight away, because our kind of attacks that we received historically weren't of that nature that there could have been a lion there to grab the baby straight away, so he needed to run, but we spend a lot more time doing that, and the woman is needed, or the man. I'm not saying that these are predominantly male and female roles, you know, I'm not saying that men can't. I've got a husband and he's all right with the kids. Well, he was, you know, he's great. But you know, there's nothing wrong. We were led, I think that my particular generation, we were done really bad with the women's lib movement, because it empowered us to be able to do anything, but we still had to go home and look after the children, you know. And I would challenge anyone, when you walk into a house and it's not messy and there's a man and woman living there, your thoughts are, she doesn't keep this house well. It's always onto the female. You don't think, and you might think, oh, look at how he has to live because of, but so we've still got these kind of ancient ways of thinking that do play through, no matter how good our terminology. And I won't even get into how confusing the whole they, them, this stuff goes. We are literally bastardizing our language so that they had to leave the stage. Well, who are they? They is a plural. Do you know what I mean? It's not a singular. So the language is being changed, and the confusion, the ideologies of who you are, identity of our very nature is being completely and utterly taken and used against it. It's being weaponized. You know, children, they need those boundaries of, I'm a boy or I'm a girl. Push the fuck out the boundaries, absolutely. But don't take away the boundaries, because we're all just going to be falling and all over the shop. It's a shitstorm of pliable people that are being created. But it is going to, and they are going to be medicated beyond belief, because we have to suppress. Like I said, I've just recently watched the Men's Mental Health Roundtable. It was just gorgeous to hear, beautiful. And I love listening to men. I love men. I do. I think they're gorgeous. I think they're fabulous. And especially when a man's being a man. And it's not this idea that we have of them. It's just them following their own nature. I'll give you an example. We were walking down a road once, me and himself, and we got a dog, and this dog other dog came bounding out of its garden, and it crossed its garden barrier and coming full frontal to attack myself, my husband, and the dog. And my husband, without thinking, just boom, that dog was down, gone back in its garden. And I just was like, oh, that's so lovely. Because it was. It was just so lovely.
Absolutely.
And there was nothing wrong with that. So it is about, Fab is about reclaiming those aspects of ourselves. Now, not everything we have to be really careful about. You've heard me say this. We can't throw the baby out with the bathwater. And my bathwater might throw out a bit more than your bathwater, but we have to be careful about what we're throwing out. But we definitely need to reclaim that life, that who we are, the ups and downs of life. I mean, in the session one, you know, like if you go into a hospital, life's about this. Somebody on a machine, da-dum, 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 da-dum. They're alive. The heart's beating. Everything's working. You go into hospital and zzz, that's dead. So that just that on a visual, that is life. If you're not feeling anything, you're not, you know, it's just dead. You've got to have the ups and downs. Life is here for us to experience. It's just the most amazing, magnificent thing. And there's this bunch of aspects of life that are so dark that they want to just control it and everything else. How could you possibly want to control this? It's just phenomenal. I mean, life is just phenomenal, and we're just head fucked right now. And I'm using very professional terms, as you can see.
So, well, that's what I love about you, is the fact you're so down to earth, quite honestly. So for anyone who's sort of thinking, well, I'd like to help, I'd like to be one of those people in my community that others can come to and turn to, if they need that time and that at listening, and like you say, the heart, which is hugely important. So if somebody listening to this wants to get involved, what's the first step? What are the options? What does it look like in the practical terms of getting onto a FAB course?
Okay, so in terms of the First Assist, if you go onto, at the moment, I do believe it's coming onto the People's Health Alliance website, that you will be able to book direct the courses. But at the moment, they're on my website, which is authenticdiscovery.co.uk/First Assist BeingWell. There's hyphens in there. But if you go onto my website, you will see there'll be, you'll be able to find First Assist BeingWell, and we've set up some dates. So we've got dates. The dates this month are now. It's not happening now, but we've got August, September, October, and November. I think there are dates of courses right up until the end of the year. So you can go onto my website, and then you can send me an email. Book now. It's basically sending me an email to let me know, and I will get in touch with you. There on Telegram, you can get in touch with me on Telegram at Loving Response, and I can put you into a group that will have information about the upcoming courses. So that's one way that of set courses that are actually happening. The other way is to get in touch again via the website or via Telegram. But there are people trained to deliver the courses now in person. They don't all have to happen online. So if people want in-person delivery, that can be arranged. There are people literally all over the country now, well, from top to bottom. There's not loads, so please do get in touch if you're interested. And the first part of becoming someone to deliver the training is to participate in the training. The training at the moment is 4 modules, 4 sessions. They are 4 4-hour sessions. So it is quite an investment of your time, and I am very aware of that. I'm very grateful to anyone that actually comes forward to do it. So first of all, train to actually be able to have the tools and techniques and the confidence to support somebody. Then the actual trainer training is more in depth. It's a lot more hours. There's actually a lot more involved in that. So first of all, do the course and find out whether it's something you want to train to deliver. But once you have done the course, you will be able to be confident to sit with anyone that you may meet and just be able to listen to them, signpost them, give them tools for whatever it might be that they're going through, and how to support them. I'm not sure if I answered your question. I get like that sometimes.
No, that's brilliant. That's brilliant. I think, this podcast is all about the positive. It's all about the solutions. And this is a fantastic solution. But what we realistically need is, it'd be lovely if 20% of every community was trained up in the FAD training, because I think people underestimate the impact and numbers and sheer volume of
issues
impact
that are going to come,
the issues that are going to come as revelations come to the fore, as realization takes place. I think people underestimate that impact. And if we look at it from a very black and white, cold kind of perspective, is if all of those people become aware at roughly the same time, within a 6-month time frame, 7-month time frame, whatever that might look like, what you're going to do is the pressure on society is going to be phenomenal. It's going to be phenomenal. And what we don't want to see is that breakdown. We don't want to see that breakdown. We don't want anarchy. We don't want people on the streets committing awful crimes.
I'm going to disagree with you there. I would like anarchy, actually, not the anarchy that you're referring to, which is what people perceive anarchy to be. But anarchy is beautiful. It's independent, each individual living and working together. It's about having no government structure.
That we can live with. I'm thinking more the kind
you're thinking of the anarchy that's been promoted as what anarchy actually looks. What anarchy actually looks like is nothing to what they've pushed it and promoted it to be. They've promoted anarchy to be violent, disruptions, riots, murders, and just
sidestep.
So this, because it's a lack of government, and they see a lack of government, and that's what we'd fall into, because that's what they're promoting us and pushing us to fall into. True anarchy is amicable. It's each person respecting each person and not needing, we are responsible for ourselves. That's so just that, but the anarchy that you talk about,
but we don't want the other stuff. We don't want the other stuff. And I think as well, the good thing is we are all about bringing it back to communities. We're all about empowering the
Absolutely.
individual, empowering
Yeah.
groups together, small groups within the community to create what they need to create moving forward. And so by being there to help catch those as they're falling, you're automatically going to just increase your support group, and create these important groups across every community. And that person who might have been so angry, they might have done something very out of character, they might have lashed out, they might have done, you might be able to just bring them in, help them, heal them, help them heal and learn the skills they need to heal, and then provide them with a way. Hey, get involved with creating a health hub. Hey, we're going to be doing a community garden. Hey, we're setting up our own school. Whatever it might be, we can then plow that energy into something really positive, something that is going to carry on decentralizing the systems, that is rebellious in its own right, but it's being done in a peaceful, empowering way.
The most rebellious thing you can do is take care of yourself. And you know, and because when you take care of yourself and know yourself, you then you're well more able to engage in a vibration that is just so much more confident and loving. You know what I mean? But the communities, absolutely, communities help just by being a community. If you are part of a community, there's less likelihood of you actually experiencing any adverse mental health. Do you know what I mean? There's so many things that you won't experience if you are part of a thriving community. Forget the sustaining bullshit that they keep throwing at us. We're here to thrive. We're here to grow. We're here to enjoy and experience the whole shebang. So, you know, Fab is absolutely solution focused. It's about empowerment, total empowerment. And if anybody wants to get in touch with me about my stuff, work away.
Brilliant. What we're going to do is we'll drop the links below for the Fab. We'll drop the links to Helen's page, to her website, and the work that she's doing in addition to all of this. But I would encourage everyone who has any leaning towards this to please go and get involved with doing the course. Just contact Helen and get on it as soon as possible, because we are going to literally need thousands, tens of thousands of amazing volunteers across the UK in every community able to deliver this sort of support over the coming months. I think if we don't, we are going to risk some pretty bad reactions from people that aren't going to be cared for.
Yeah, well, suicide is already on the rise, suicidal ideation, depression, but you know, the amount of people that are, and most people are running to the doctors, you know, and they're not running, but they are going to the doctors to kind of, and not knocking doctors, but you know, we need to empower people to realize, hang on, this is normal. I'm just living. I need some support, but I'm living. I'm okay. There's nothing wrong with my emotions. There's nothing wrong with how I'm wired, you know. And if there is something that's squiffy, it can be sorted. You know, it's not just mental health, psychiatric kind of things. There's just so much out there to support people and to let people know that they are supported.
100%. This is what it's about. And as people are aware, PHA are going to be looking at getting a mental wellbeing hotline off the ground. We'd love it to run 24/7, and we'd love them in every country across the world as well. And what we'd really encourage is that if you're somebody who'd like to volunteer moving forward, when it's ready to get involved with the hotline, we'd love you to go through the Fab training first. If you haven't got previous experience working within mental wellbeing, get involved with the Fab training at a minimum, because you're sometimes, you know, you're going to have people coming on the calls, and some of those calls might feel quite heavy going. And if you've got those tools, you've got that experience, you've got that knowledge, that confidence, you're going to be able to be more comfortable dealing with those conversations as they come, and they will come thick and fast. So now is the time to do it. No delay. Now is the time to do it. And I'd love to see the next courses for the rest of the year fully booked up. Let's get this done. Let's get more trainers trained up. Let's make it happen. So guys, we're going to drop the links below. Can
I just say that there is an investment cost to participating, and that part of 25% of that goes directly to the PHA.
Thank you. And although it's very, very well priced, it really, I mean, I don't think you get any other course even close to the price of this one.
No.
If you are genuinely, authentically struggling, but really want to take part, please contact Helen direct, and I'm sure she can have a chat with you and figure something out. You know, there's always a solution. You can find a solution.
Never let that stop you. Absolutely, never let that stop you.
But guys, please like and subscribe. I get told off if I don't say that. Like and subscribe. Please share this video, not for me, not for the likes, not for the numbers. I couldn't give a crap about that, because this is important and we need literally hundreds of thousands of people trained up in this over the coming year. So please get this out there. Thank you all so much. Carry on doing the sterling work you're doing. Helen, thank you for your time today. I love you. I think you're an absolute superstar. And guys, yeah, let's make these solutions happen. Take care.
Bye-bye.